У вас есть 20 секунд, чтобы ознакомиться с заданием.
Now we are ready to start.
Speaker A.
I really loved my high school, but it was a time when I was having a lot of arguments and fights at home, so school was the place where I went to escape from all my problems, and I really worked hard. I stayed at school long hours, I didn't want to go home, and I loved my teachers, and a lot of us are still friends, so yeah, high school was great.
Speaker B.
High school was quite a good experience for me, really. My high school wasn't a fantastic school, just an ordinary one. But I had lots of fun, made lots of good friends, learned how to communicate and how to avoid conflicts. Yeah, I think I came out of it able to deal with life problems.
Speaker C.
High school for me was, well, quite dull, although they call it formative years. I enjoyed my senior year because I didn't go to high school as often as I did before my senior year. Overall, I didn't do much and didn't learn much either. So my high school was a little difficult and a little strange.
Speaker D.
OK, I think I loved my high school. That was the best part of my whole school life, because I had my best friends there and a bunch of good teachers, a lot of hard work and studies, happy and sad moments. And it was fantastic. Also, we had our final exams in high school. It was really tough, but I had great friends in my class, so we did a lot of joint studying and were really successful.
Speaker E.
I loved high school. I absolutely loved it. I can't even describe it. I grew up in a town of 1,000 people, and so my whole graduating class was 35 people who I had known since my childhood, and we were all very, very close, like maybe brothers or sisters. And still my best friends are 2 people from my high school. The years spent at high school were the happiest.
Speaker F.
I have to admit, I loved high school. I thought high school was the best. It's a really good time, you know. You play sports, you're in clubs, you hang out with your friends. But what I remember most about high school, though, is that I thought it would never end. I mean, at that point, you've been in school your entire life, and I remember thinking, you know what, I'm always going to be a student. They're never going to let me out of school. But eventually they did.
You have 15 seconds to complete the task.
У вас есть 20 секунд, чтобы ознакомиться с заданиями.
Now we are ready to start. I'm sorry, what was your name again?
My name is Ruth Archibald.
OK, Ruth. Are you from Ireland?
Yes, I am.
I've noticed your slight Irish accent.
Really? I thought I lost my Irish accent after moving south from Ireland to Spain.
What was it like going from Ireland to Spain?
It was a depressing change, I guess. I had long-term friends back home, you know, friends from school. And there were some boys and girls I've known since I was born. I needed to make new friends and to find a place to hang out. But it's okay now.
I've never been to Ireland. What's famous about Ireland that you can tell me about?
Probably the most famous things are Guinness and Irish clog dance, dancing in wooden shoes.
Do you dance in wooden shoes?
Unfortunately not. I think only a few people can do this.
I've heard that people's manners are pretty rough and ready in Ireland. Is that true?
No, I don't think so. I think it depends on where you go in Ireland. In the capital, yes, maybe people are a bit less polite, but in the countryside, they're very warm and friendly.
OK, so if I went to a bar or a disco in Ireland, would there be any risk of getting into trouble?
I don't think so. No. It's really safe. You don't really think that all Irish people are rude and short-tempered.
Oh, no. No, and where exactly are you from?
I'm from a place called Bray, which is maybe an hour's drive from the capital, Dublin, but far away from the main industrial centres. It's clean and calm.
What is the geography like?
It's pretty flat. There are some hills, but none of them are very high, and the area around the city has been intensively cultivated. There's a lot of farming, particularly beef and dairy products, and also sheep. There are lots of sheep.
When are you going back?
I've just been there. I went back in December for 3 weeks, so at the moment I have no plans to go home in the near future, but maybe sometime in September I'll go again.
Maybe I'll go and visit it sometime.
Definitely. It's really good. It's a really nice place to visit.
You have 15 seconds to complete the task.
У вас есть 50 секунд, чтобы ознакомиться с заданиями.
Now we are ready to start.
John, you're one of very few major designers who are publicly committed to being fur-free.
I haven't used fur in my collections for over 16 years. I haven't used leather for probably almost as long.
What's your opinion about using artificial animal products, like fur and leather, for example? They look so much like real fur that people might get the wrong idea.
You're absolutely right. The technology has advanced so much that you're able to get the look and feel of real fur, and also leather. With leather, even more than with fur, the technological alternative is so obvious that there is no argument about it. It's more durable, and the price, well, it varies a lot. Sometimes it can cost as much as real leather. But the problem is that you're propagating the idea that fur is acceptable by wearing it, because a lot of people can't tell what is real and what is not real. You know, I'd refuse to use even artificial fur, but I can't because of my clients, for whom fur is a status symbol.
Is fur still a big deal in fashion? It seemed to go out of fashion for a while.
I know. I just got back from an appointment uptown. The weather was so nice I decided to walk down Fifth Avenue. The amount of furs that I saw on people and the amount of fur trim, whether on men's jackets or baubles hanging from hats to full-length coats, is surprising. And as an expert in this field, I can tell what is fake and what's not. And the amount of real fur out there is shocking.
I think your fight for cruelty-free fashion is really tough. What about your opponents?
There are a lot of them. For example, the Scandinavian fur industry is one of many. It keeps trying to bring furs back into fashion. They educate young designers about the different animal furs available, giving them furs free and helping them integrate fur into their designs. I'm actively engaging with young designers as well, but in a different manner. In addition to my own participation in the cool versus cruel design contests, I'm a guest lecturer at some very prestigious city design schools. This semester, I'm challenging students to create a collection without any animal products at all.
So, are only industries like the Scandinavian fur one responsible for fur in fashion? Or are there any other reasons?
Of course, there's a financial aspect to it. You know, I could have got millions of dollars in fur licensing by now. I could be rich. I would be able to live a much better lifestyle than I'm living right now if I had taken these offers. But I sleep in peace at night, knowing that I'm not part of that. Then there's also this, well, why should I worry about animals attitude with a lot of people who are in fashion. I think this is a major problem here. They only think about themselves and their reputations. They are self-obsessed. They are the worst.
What do you think are some ways we can get the fashion-wearing public and designers to care?
I think just constantly making them aware of the cruelty involved. Just a continuous bombardment with information. I believe in protesting without violence, of course. That's exactly what we're trying to fight against. Violence against animals. It's a slow process which could be compared maybe to, for example, to the long-lasting fight of black people for their rights. 100 years ago, people also thought that black people shouldn't have the rights of white people. And 30 years ago, people thought that smoking was okay for you. It's all a matter of becoming a more advanced society and more caring individuals.
John, are you a vegetarian?
You know, I'm trying to become a vegetarian. But having been brought up in a traditional way, it's always a battle. I eat red meat once in a while. Now and then, I also have chicken. I think today vegetarian food is available not only for well-to-do people, but for everybody. The problem is dietary habits you've had since your early childhood. They are difficult to change. I know it's a slow process, but I hope by the end of this year I'll have completely cut meat out.
John, what first made you aware of the cruelty involved in fur?
I think any intelligent person, no matter how old he or she is, realises there's death involved with this type of fashion. And you read about it and just become aware of how savage this industry is. When I was a young designer, I had a bunch of fur, which I used in one of my collections. And I thought, oh, how beautiful, how fabulous. My clients also admired the collection. But then I became aware of what goes on, and, I guess, more mature as an individual, and more of a caring person about the environment and the lives of helpless animals. It's really depressing to realise that we aren't doing enough to protect the environment. Maybe I even shouldn't be showing fake fur. With the technology today, artificial fur looks so real that by wearing it, you are advertising it. I would like to help as much as I can with any of the organisations that want to help protect animals, including vocal protests as well as financially.
You have 15 seconds to complete the task.